Beanie in the house. Let's get ready to rumble. Sir Lewis, what's going on? Mary Beanie's in the house, first on the podium. So we got a sprint race today, which nothing was very exciting about it. I will say there was some good takeaways from the sprint race. First takeaway I'm going to say is shout out to Lando for the commendable character and integrity he showed without his team trying to give him team orders. And actually, Lando went against team orders in order to give Piastri the spot to win that sprint race. And I felt like that was a good thing that he did. I think that was a commendable move. I also think maybe that restores a bit of their relationship, because I think even if Piastri doesn't say it, because Piastri doesn't say a lot, right? What's going on, Galactus? What's up, Mary Beanie? Piastri, I was about to say Galactus don't say a lot. Galactus give you 3 chances and you're out of there. But Piastri doesn't say a lot. Usually he's going to do what he needs to do. He's going to play the team game, and he's got ice in his veins. But my thing was I feel like Piastri felt some kind of way when Lando, I'm going to call it a slight, when it took an act of Congress to get Lando to give Piastri the position back, in which Lando did not earn on merit. Lando was gifted that position because the team screwed up on strategy, and it put him in a good situation. And I think that kind of helps restore a bit of that. I don't know if it restores all of it, because maybe Piastri might think maybe Lando only did this now because he doesn't have a chance at the championship. The championship is over. He doesn't have a fighting chance for it. So it might be one of those things where Piastri might look at it like, bro, you wouldn't have did that if you were fighting for the championship. And then rightfully so, should Oscar expect for Lando to do something like that if he's in the fight for the championship. But I do think it restores a bit of something for the team, for Oscar, for Lando. So I'm still going to give Lando some points for that. But I will tell you this. I know one thing. I know we won't see Max Verstappen do anything like that, because we didn't see Max Verstappen do anything like that, because Max Verstappen refused to do anything like that when it was team orders issued for Max to give Perez that position to help him in the Drivers' Championship in Brazil. Max Verstappen kicked, cried, threw a temper tantrum, pouted, and said some pretty much on radio that he wasn't doing it, and they better not ask him to do it. So that's why I say I give Lando some credit for that. There is some credence in him doing that for Piastri in a moment where even some people might say there was little risk or reward to your situation because you're no longer fighting for a championship. So, I mean, what are we really supposed to take from that? You know, sometimes people say it's not a gift if it's not really something big to be taken from it if you're not going to lose anything, or something's not in the balance. You only did it because you didn't have to worry about anything being in the balance. So, like I said, I still give Lando credit for that. I'm not going to take a whole bunch of it from it, but I still will give him credit for that. Now, as far as the rest of the race, and I don't know how much you all enjoyed the race yourselves. What's up, Dave Quattro? But I will say that Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc as teammates next year is looking pretty decent. I also will say that wheel-to-wheel driving that we saw between Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc was pretty damn phenomenal. And I'm not crediting DC for shit, because he's like a Red Bull whore. I'm gonna go ahead and say DC did correct himself. He corrected himself by saying Lewis Hamilton is the most accomplished driver and cleanest driver. And when you have two drivers that can give each other space and respect and still be competitively battling each other in and out of turns, it's a phenomenal thing to watch in the motorsport of Formula One. Well, you won't get that with Max Verstappen. He can't drive wheel to wheel like that. He doesn't have the ability, he doesn't have the tolerance, and he doesn't have the character and integrity to do so. And we've seen that on display plenty of times. I think there's a lot of opportunity where Max Verstappen could have shown he had the opportunity to wheel drive, but he doesn't have that in his toolbox, and we probably could have had some phenomenal battles on track had he been able to do something like that. But seeing Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc do that, I think it was even cleaner than what we've seen between Carlos and Charles, because we've seen some battles between Carlos and Charles, and I got to say, I think a lot of us were kind of like, hey, man, this is getting dangerous. This is getting to the point where What is the team going to do about it? Because y'all are going to wreck each other out. And it didn't happen, but it looked to that magnitude that it could happen. But what we saw between Lewis and Charles was still highly competitive. But I don't think anybody felt like, oh, this is going to get crazy. Because you could clearly see, even with wheels, inches apart from each other, the respect was there. And Charles ended up winning that battle and taking it out. But definitely something notable that I realize you won't get from Max Verstappen, as well as the team's help situation. You're not going to get that from Max Verstappen. And I'm going to tell you right now, that's still going to be a blemish on Max Verstappen's historical record, all right, along with all the other egregious things he's done. And that's why I'm telling you, Max Verstappen is not going to be the GOAT. Max Verstappen will have to do something so abundantly ridiculous in the sport of Formula One, 8 championships and all types of other things, maybe even 9 to be considered the GOAT. And I don't see that happening. And I'm going to tell you right now, when's the last time Max Verstappen won a race? I'm going to wait. When is the last time Max Verstappen won a race? While everybody was up there gloating and in the comment section about, oh, Max is so great, when he won a race based on weather conditions and unfortunate safety car, he hasn't won a race since then. He didn't win this sprint race. As you see, he finished behind a Haas. Does anybody want to talk about that? Anybody want to talk about a Haas? Matter of fact, I tell you who probably wants to talk about it. Karen Horner wants to talk about it. Because Karen Horner, while he was dissing on Perez saying he was napping and Colapinto got the best of him, why wasn't he saying that same thing about Max Verstappen while Hulkenberg and a damn Haas was damn outdoing him? But no, what does he say? He just says, oh, it's unfortunate and, the car just wasn't there for Max. Hold on, bro. Hold on. So you going to glaze over the fact that y'all were testing on Perez's car. I ain't saying Perez got the best record this year because he doesn't. I'm not saying Perez is a driver that I'm going to campaign for, because I'm not. I'm just saying that while you're sitting up here dissing on Perez, why wasn't you dissing on Max? You should have been like Hulkenberg got the best of Max because he did. Hulkenberg got the best of Max because he did, but you give excuses, you make explanations and reasons for Max, but you want to dump on Perez while Max was getting outdueled by a damn Haas. And he finished 8th out there. So I will say this, I keep it a buck. Red Bull are pretty good for making some changes, coming into the bigger event, which is qualifying in not too long from now. And we're going to see what happens. Now, I'm going to tell you what I think. I don't think it's going to be too much. I don't see Max running now. I'm not saying I don't see Max running a top time in qualifying, because I never count Max Verstappen out when it comes to him being able to put in some hot laps to be at the top of the leaderboard. I never count him out for that. I'm going to keep it a buck. I'm being objective. I'm not going to sit up here and say some outlandish shit like Max ain't. No, Max is good enough to do that. Now, what I don't expect, I don't expect Max to get pole position. If he gets pole position, that shit'd be crazy. It'd be like, hey, I was crazy wrong. It ain't going to be crazy in the sense that he gets it. I'll be crazy wrong. But I don't think he gets pole position. I don't think Red Bull has been atop of the teams as far as car development since Max wasn't winning no damn races, and that was a long time. And I also don't think Red Bull's going to be in a better position next season. And that's why I keep telling y'all I think this is it for Max Verstappen, 4 championships. And I also think Max doesn't have the character to weather the storm after winning. It's different when you haven't won and you're chasing the wins, and it's very different for a person when they get wins and they don't have to chase. It takes a different person in a tough situation like Lewis Hamilton to stick around for 3 seasons while Mercedes been building a shit car to still be trying to win. I don't think Max Verstappen stays in the sport of Formula One if he goes 3 seasons and he ain't winning. I think he's going to hang it up. And I also think these 4 championships likely, I think I said before, I could probably see him getting 5. But I don't think he's going to reach 7 or 8. I just don't. I don't think that's happening at all. So outside of that, we also can talk about Charles Leclerc and Sainz in 4 and 5 for the sprint. I know it's a sprint race, and I know a lot of people are going to say we're not taking a lot from the sprint race, but I'm taking something from this. Now, I already told you all, and I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to keep telling you, I'm not buying into Ferrari unless they finish out the season with podiums, whether double podium or podium. And sitting right there at 4 and 5, nah, that's not going to do it for me. Especially when you're trying to fight for the Constructors' Championship. 4 and 5, while McLaren just doubled up on points. Yo, that right there is not going. That's not going to do it. That's not going to do it at all. And I know it's been I'm going to talk about the Lewis Hamilton situation on another live because I want to dedicate time solely to that because there's a lot of narratives, there's a lot of hate, there's a lot of other things going around. And I think some people are forgetting what Toto Wolff said in regards to what they were going to be doing further in the back half of this season. A few races ago, or not even a few races, a couple of races ago, Toto Wolff said something. And I told you all when he said that, what I thought he meant and who I thought would be taking a blunt of this so-called exercise they were going to be going through to try to prepare themselves for 2025. I think some people are forgetting about that. And I'm not dismissing that. I'm gonna go into that later. I'm not gonna go into too much because if I go into it right now, I'm gonna go in like I'm gonna go ham on it. Gasly in the top 10 for the sprint race ain't a lot. Also, don't forget, I think outside of that, Gasly didn't get points. I think the only person collected the last point was Max Verstappen. But it would have been awesome to see him get collected up by an Alpine, which is Gasly. Kind of would have been a little nudge, little get back in there. But K-Mag and Hulk, if this was a GP, we would again have two Haas's in points. And for Haas, that's a major accomplishment. And I'm not even counting them out for this race. I'm not counting Hulk out. I'm a little bit questionable on K-Mag, but I will say it's been done before. Maybe they can do it. But at two Haas in points, again, as this season is closing out, is a very good high point for them. Alonso would be outside of the points. Of course, he's not going to get any help from Stroll. Stroll is an ass driver. I'm waiting for the day where his dad actually wakes up and says, I just want to win. I want the team to win. I want to win. And, son, you're not our way to winning. I've given you so many opportunities, and you're not good enough to make it happen. But I don't think he's ever going to do that. I think he's just going to allow his son to sit and be an anchor for the Aston Martin team and just weight them down completely and just obliterate their hopes of even winning a Constructors' Championship. Let's not even talk about Drivers' Championship. I don't even think they're going to win a Constructors' Championship if he keeps allowing this. You need two cars to be high up in points consistently through the season to mount a Constructors' Championship campaign, and that's not what we have. That's not what we're going to get, and that's not what they should expect with Lance Stroll being at the helm of one of those Aston Martin cars, which will soon be designed and engineered by Adrian Newey. So they're going to waste a lot of components. They're going to waste a lot of things that they're trying to collect and bring into their team purely off the back of their drivers' lineup being one part butthole. So, I mean, you play silly games, you win silly prizes. Also, sitting right here, Hamilton at 6, and that's Gasly. I only really want to go over the top 10. I don't really want to go over anything else. Kick Sauber with all the hype that they had coming into this weekend about what in the hell they was really going to do. Did nothing. I don't think they're going to do anything. I think their season is going to end zeroed out. And if so, hey, I think, you do the best at being what you're good at. And they're good at being ass. And you might as well be the best at being ass. So that is what it is. Sprint race happened. Watched it. We're going to get ready to start watching qualifying. We're going to see what they do in qualifying. We might come back on and talk about that later. Me and the family have a lot of things to get done today, plus spending family time and probably trying to play some volleyball. So if I don't watch live with you all, I will do my own recap at some point in time, either live on IG or live on Twitter, or I'll come back here and do it here. But got a lot of things going on, so I'm trying to sneak in between, trying to find time in between because my wife was just right here chilling. So it's not like, I'm sneaking to get on live, like, I'm trying to get on live, but got a lot of things we're trying to do, but I also want to make sure I get with the Wolfpack fam as we are on a GP weekend, and I've packed up a good amount of things to try to make that happen, although service not the best where I am when you're in the mountains, but it is what it is. So that's what we got going on. Let me see if we got anything in the chat. I hope everybody had a happy holiday and good holiday. We will be back in it again. Once again, Pia and Lando with a double spot in the sprint. Russell in third. We'll see what he does in qualifying. And other than that, it just is what it is. So we will be seeing how this race turns out. Like I said, I want to see Ferrari on the podium, 2 cars or 1 car, every race in the season. We got Qatar, they got Abu Dhabi. I expect to see it. Scarlet red cars on podium. I don't care if it's third, second, first would be awesome. Double podium. or I'm not really buying into this Ferrari 2025 shit. I'm gonna be very questionable coming in Ferrari 2025. I can tell you that right now. All right, y'all. Y'all stay up. Peace. I'm out. We'll pack.